now talk about West Bengal. The BJP hopes to make deep inroads. Can those inroads be picked up from the data that emerges in the India Today Access My India political stock exchange? We're about to find out over the next few minutes. I just want to take you through the methodology deployed by Access My India for this PSE tracker. The sample size in West Bengal is 4,620. The survey period is between the 13th and the 20th of March. This is a representative sample across demographies and across the geography. And remember, this is a telephonic interview that's been done by Access My India for the India Today group. So what are the crucial issues for voters in West Bengal? So let's take you through what voters in West Bengal believe is the #1 issue for them. Coming up right at the top of the pack for respondents in West Bengal is unemployment. 42% of the respondents. Remember, in all the PSC trackers, there's never been one issue which has ranked quite as high as 42% saying unemployment is the #1 issue in West Bengal. Number 2 for these voters is price rise. Now remember, nationally, consumer price index numbers are actually looking under control, and therefore it's interesting that price rise is the #2 issue for voters in West Bengal. This hasn't been the case, price rise being a far less important issue in other crucial states. At number 3, there is farmer distress at 14%. So where is corruption? Where is terrorism? Where are the airstrikes? Remember, only 6% of the respondents felt that terrorism was a big issue for them. That's coming in at number 4. Corruption is at 6% as well. The airstrikes are at 4%. So if you look at it, airstrikes are actually the 7th most important issue, and then there is Naxalism at 1%. Now, this is very, very interesting. So unlike what we saw in states like Uttar Pradesh, where terrorism was very important and in fact became the #2 issue, here it is unemployment that is ranking quite at the top. Joining us to talk about this data, I want to introduce first Sunanda Kedatare, one of the most renowned political commentators out of West Bengal. Garga Chatterjee represents the Trinamool ideology and the Trinamool point of view. We've still got Narendra Taneja and Priyanka Chaturvedi with us. I want to go across to Garga Chatterjee first. 42% saying unemployment. In no poll that we've done on the PSC has any one issue received quite as much traction. If unemployment is the #1 issue, is that a warning sign for the Trinamool Congress? Because usually it's the state government that is to generate employment, and you're not being able to generate employment for people in the working age category. Could that bite you hard in the Lok Sabha elections, Garga Chatterjee?
In any polity, any federal polity like the Indian Union, there is the center and the state which divides its duties. According to what West Bengal can do for itself, according to the Ministry of Labour data, Central Ministry of Labour data, unemployment in West Bengal has come down by 40%. So that's what West Bengal has done. But we also know that India as a whole is going through a 45-year-old high unemployment rate, okay, which means an overall scenario for which the union government is responsible is creating pressure for all of us. So yes, unemployment is a big issue, and unemployment is a big issue because you have the conscious people of West Bengal. You have to understand, it's a pretty politically conscious state. People remember the tall promises of 2 crore jobs per year. We do not, West Bengal doesn't change its political memory.
What do you make of this? The Trinamool government giving itself a very high mark on the report card on unemployment. Unemployment they believe is #1. Who do you think voters will hold accountable for Kedatare?
Both. The central government is known to have failed to keep its promises, as Mr. Chatterjee said just now, but the state government also hasn't done so much. But the state government has made visible progress, and it's not visible progress to my liking or to the liking of many people in the city. Every pavement is covered with hawkers and stalls and eating shops, and those count as in the state government statistics as self-employed people. So there is a lot more employment, but of course unemployment is very high. West Bengal is sending out people all over the country to look for jobs, from Kerala to Punjab, and that has not happened before. In the grade 4 classes it hasn't happened before. In the educated classes also it hasn't happened before. But unemployment is not a state phenomenon. I don't know where you got your statistic from for other states, but it's an all India problem.
So let me compare. Since you're asking where we got the data from,
investment.
What I'll do next is I'll do a cross tab and I'll show you how unemployment in West Bengal compares as a response to unemployment in other states, and also with our All India tracker. Now, if you look at the unemployment report card, in our All India tracker, 36% said unemployment was the #1 issue for them. In Uttar Pradesh, it was 31%. Let's just go back, please. In Maharashtra, Kunal, just do it again. No. If we look at our All India tracker, 36% said unemployment is the #1 issue for them. In Uttar Pradesh, it was 31%. In Maharashtra, 27%. And in West Bengal, 42%, which means 6% more than those in the All India survey believe that unemployment is the #1 issue for them in West Bengal. In Uttar Pradesh, it was 31%. So it's an important issue all over. But in Uttar Pradesh, it's 6% more important than it is nationally. On terrorism, and I think there are some very interesting insights in this as well. 23% All India said terrorism was an important issue for them. In Uttar Pradesh, it was 20%. In Maharashtra, only 7%. And in West Bengal, only 6%. Let's come to farm distress. All India, 22%. UP, 23%. Maharashtra, 30%. West Bengal, 14%. Suggesting, interestingly, that farmer distress is only half as important for voters in West Bengal as it is for voters in Maharashtra. Corruption, 12% All India. In Uttar Pradesh, it's not a major issue. In Maharashtra, 8%. West Bengal, 6%. Price rise somehow seems to be more important in West Bengal than it was in other states. Almost thrice the All India numbers. All India was 7%, West Bengal is 19%. So Sandeep Shastri, there is a huge difference as we go across crucial battleground states in the list of issues that matter most to voters. What do you make of the fact that unemployment is at 42% and terrorism only at 6% for the voters of West Bengal, Dr. Shastri?
Rahul, as we have been saying across the discussions on the tracker, there are national issues like unemployment, price rise, and maybe security, but it plays out so differently in each of the 29 states of India. So there are national issues which play out specifically in a different way in each of the states, and West Bengal in that sense is a classic example where more than 4 out of 10 people say unemployment is the critical issue, and so is price rise. And Sunandaji made that very important point about why possibly in West Bengal unemployment is seen as such a crucial issue. And I think this election will also in some ways decide who does the voter of West Bengal who hold responsible for not taking adequate number of steps on unemployment. And being a national election, I think the focus will much more be on the central government, because we are in this election voting for who should be in power at the center. Okay,
that's interesting because Garga Chatterjee was also blaming the BJP for the failure to create extra jobs. What's very clear, Narendra Taneja, is that unemployment is far and away the most important issue for voters in West Bengal. How do you ensure that you apportion this blame to the Trinamool government in West Bengal and it doesn't come and hit the BJP government, the BJP's efforts to try and make deeper inroads into West Bengal, Mr. Taneja?
Well, Rahul, if you look at the ground reality there, West Bengal is a situation. I mean, we are there on the ground working 24/7. There is no government in West Bengal. Ultra-left policy of Mamta ji, of TMC, destroyed everything. Destroyed everything. No investor wants to go there. Unless you attract investors, how are you going to create jobs? These are ultra-left policies. And at the same time, there is no law and order. If you are an investor, you want to have law and order. There is no law and order in West Bengal. So what she has done is destroyed, completely destroyed everything. And people, therefore, they're crying for BJP to come. Just wait for the result. You will see what I'm basically referring to. People want not, they want Mamta Banerjee, TMC to go. They want, some kind of law, they want high quality law and order. They want governance there. There is no governance. So in situation like this, what are we talking about? Our focus is more because we don't see any government, no governance, no law and order, and these ultra-left policies, and that's it. So people are crying for Bharatiya Janata Party to come, and the day results are out, you will agree with me and you will actually understand, your viewers will understand what exactly we are talking about, what I am talking about here.
May I respond to this, please?
Okay, Garga wants to respond to what Narendra Taneja is saying. Go ahead, Garga.
Very briefly, what Narendra Taneja just said did not have a single point of fact. Let me give you 3 facts. According to the ease of doing business index, which the Niti Aayog has come up, West Bengal has been topping it for the last 1 year or so. Number 2, RBI data, not West Bengal data, Reserve Bank of India data. In the last 1 year, foreign direct investment in West Bengal has gone up by 25 times. Number 3, Ministry of Labour Union Government data. Unemployment since 2011, where Trinamool took power, has decreased by 40%, by the same way it was measured forever. Okay, so let us actually go by facts and not rhetoric, and the mature polity of West Bengal can
Narendra
clearly
Taneja wants to make a quick
distinguish
counter
between
before I go to
rhetoric
my
and
other
fact.
guest.
Yeah, you see, the point is what you are referring to is basically, when you're talking it has gone up to 25 times from where? Look at the size of West Bengal. Look at West Bengal, what it used to be in the past. West Bengal was basically the industrial, basket, the capital of India. So where you have brought it, even the communists, they did better job than you do.
Okay,
during
speaking of the Congress, let me go across to Priyanka Chaturvedi, because the Congress for a long time in West Bengal seems to have suggested that they would tie up with the left. The CPIM and the Congress would be in alliance, that they would emerge as a strong third force. Now that alliance seems to have completely gone off the charts. Are you running the risk of letting West Bengal turn into a Mamata versus Modi battle, with the Congress reduced to a very, very fringe player in the state of West Bengal? Priyanka Chaturvedi.
No, I'm surprised you call it as emerging as the third force. Where is the second force that you are assuming is in play here? Are you talking about the Bharatiya Janata Party? The Bharatiya Janata Party managed to win in the assembly seats despite all the media hype, despite they being on the ground, creating as much as hate they can possibly do, as much as divisiveness that they can actually do in West Bengal. Managed to get 3 seats in West Bengal. So we are the second largest party in West Bengal, and we are going to be contesting on our strengths, and that is what we are working on. We would have hoped to get into an alliance, but during the assembly elections we realized that that alliance did not work out as well as we would have expected it to. So we are going our different ways, but if you see, we are the single largest party, second largest party after the ruling party in West Bengal. So we are going to give it our best shot, and we are very certain that people of West Bengal will understand the issues we are raising, and the issues that we are raising centrally are the issues which are the closest and dearest to the people of West Bengal, and they are also fighting the same fight as we are on behalf of the country. So we are very confident. We have put up some good candidates, and we are confident of converting them into victories.
So I'm not certain of how you say that you are the second largest party, because if I look at the vote share data from West Bengal, the left is ahead of you. Even the Bharatiya Janata Party in recent polls has been ahead of you. The Congress is now not number 2, it's not even number 3, it's actually already number 4 on the ground. Forget what may happen in this poll, Priyanka Chaturvedi, even past polls. Look at the Panchayat polls, look at the Zilla Parishad polls,
I'm talking about the assembly elections.
That is not the case. Your vote share figures have been coming down. In 2014, the Congress's vote share in the state was only 9.6%. In the 2016 elections, it went up to 12.3%.
So we are at 12.3% with 44 seats, if I'm not mistaken, and our vote share went up by 3.2%. So that is from 2016 to 2019, we have worked on ground, and we are very certain that we are going to give a tough competition to the so-called second forces at work. They can continue to create the hate and divisiveness. We will continue to talk about the agenda that people of West Bengal need to hear.
Okay, Sandeep Shastri, do you believe the inability of the left and the Congress to come together will hurt both the left and the Congress? Because what we saw in a state like Tripura was that the Congress vote share shifted en masse to the BJP. The left fell, but it largely held its ground. The other opposition collapsed, and therefore the BJP jumped from 1.5 to 48%. Could something similar happen in West Bengal? Not to that extent maybe, but directionally in the same way in West Bengal as well. Sandeep Shastri.
Rahul, the inability of the left and the Congress to stitch an alliance, I think, is going to be a negative factor for them. If they are not together, I think there will be a very sharp division of votes and will not work in their favor. If you look at opinion polls that have come out since the West Bengal elections, you will notice that the BJP's vote share and support has been increasing. And if the left and the Congress were to be together, they could have given a stiff fight to gaining the second position. I don't think there is any debate on who is going to be in the first position in West Bengal. I think the Trinamool is very much there in the first position.
Sunanda K. Dattare, is it advantage BJP because the left and the Congress haven't been able to come together? If they were together, there would have been a triangular fight. With both these parties now fighting separately, is the possibility of a direct fight between the BJP and the Trinamool gone up in this Lok Sabha election? Mr. Dattare.
No, the BJP is not a contender. The BJP is not a force on the ground in West Bengal. I know there have been some individual defections to the BJP from Trinamool, but that doesn't add up to making it a force. The BJP's only agenda in West Bengal is communal polarization. And that, I think we have a more cerebral attitude to politics than in the cow belt, and I don't think that will win it votes among the middle classes, among educated people.
Narendra Taneja, the analyst on the ground, seems to suggest the BJP is more in the rallies, more on TV, more on social media than you are on the ground in West Bengal.
Well, you know, Mr. Dattare is entitled to his views, and I respect him a lot. You know, I've been reading him since my school days. But the fact remains, the story, I will request him to go to the area, West Bengal, go for, you know, different parts of the state, and he will get a completely different picture. If he can, I'll request him to become a reporter for a couple of days and see the change there on the ground. The change is a big change there. We are today the second largest political force on the ground in Bengal, and it's a matter of time before we become the first. And the next election, assembly election, we will form the next government in West Bengal. Congress does exist. Congress is as big in West Bengal as they are in Uttar Pradesh. In UP, they don't exist. Maharashtra, in Bengal, the story is more or less the same. But as far as we are confident, we are present in every single village, and we are going to write a new political history for the people of West Bengal. And the people
let's
of West Bengal
see who voters in West Bengal want as the next Prime Minister. When we asked them, what's your preferred choice for next Prime Minister? Narendra Modi stood at 46% in October, that went up to 49% in January, and is now up to 54% in March. Now this is very interesting because it suggests that there's been an 8% increase between October and March 2019. Whereas Rahul Gandhi has gone up from 21% in October to 23% in March. Mamta Banerjee has gone up from 21% in October to 23% in March. Now this is interesting because it suggests that Narendra Modi, Sandeep Shastri, is twice as popular as even Mamta Banerjee when it comes to popularity for next Prime Minister. But it is also a fact that the BJP on the ground in West Bengal doesn't have as entrenched a base as it does in a state like Uttar Pradesh or Gujarat or Madhya Pradesh, which have been traditional BJP bastions. Therefore, can the Prime Minister turn his popularity into seats in this election? The BJP is telling us they'll get 22 seats in West Bengal. Last time they had only 2. To what extent can this popularity turn into additional seats in the state of West Bengal? Sandeep Shastri.
Rahul, you made the point very strongly. I think the Prime Minister may be reasonably popular in this state, but then I have my doubts as to whether this can translate itself into votes and seats. It's a clear case of where the leader's popularity is much more than the capacity of the party. As I see it, as it's going forward today, I think the Trinamool is at a leading position, and with all due respects to what Sunandaji said, I'm not too sure that with the Congress and left fighting separately, have they ceded that space of opposition to the BJP? I think this election will prove that question.
But the sense is that given the fact that they are fighting separately, it's more likely to help, because we've already seen a gravitation of the traditional CPIM vote to the Trinamool. We've seen their leaders go, and some of that vote has actually gone to the BJP. So while their leaders have gone there, some of that vote has gone, and we already saw that happen in another left-dominated state of Tripura. So how satisfied are people with the performance of the Modi Sarkar? Is there a similar sense that can be seen about the popularity of the Modi government? When this question was asked in October, 51% of the respondents said they were satisfied with the Modi government. That number has now gone up to 56%. The number of people who are dissatisfied has stayed roughly at about 25%. The number of people who think the government's performance is average was 22% in October. That's now coming down to 12%. As we head closer to polls, people then make up their mind about the government one way or the other. So the level of people who think they are satisfied is 56%. The Prime Minister's own popularity rating is at 54%, which would suggest, Sunanda Kedattare, that contrasting to what you're saying, the popularity of both the Prime Minister and his government is quite strong in West Bengal. Yes, the Trinamool is strong and deeply entrenched on the ground, but the people of West Bengal seem to think well of the Prime Minister and his government. Mr. Dattare.
Well, people vote at two levels. I remember a time when everyone voted in West Bengal for Janata at the centre and for CPM at the state level. As I said earlier, West Bengal's approach to politics is a little more cerebral than in the cow belt, and there is a division of loyalties, division of understanding, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's. You are making a mistake if you think that when people say so many percentage will vote or expect Narendra Modi to be Prime Minister, that they want him to be Prime Minister, that they approve of him as Prime Minister. If I were asked, I would say he is likely to emerge as Prime Minister. But that's not because I want him or because I approve of his policies. But I look at the national scene and don't see someone who can give him a run for his money and really emerge as an opposition candidate. So there is an acceptance of the reality. In the same way in West Bengal, there is no contender for Mamata Banerjee. She will become Chief Minister again, whatever the majority is, in the same way as Narendra Modi will probably become Chief Minister again, by default. Both are by default, both in the absence of opposition, not because they have merited renewal of the people's mandate.
Does it, Garga Chatterjee, go against the Trinamool to some extent, that voters believe that this is a Lok Sabha election where the stakes for the BJP are much more than the stakes for Mamata Banerjee? She can't really be Prime Minister, and therefore does that increase the proclivity of voters wanting to cast their mandate in favor of the Prime Minister and the BJP? Garga Chatterjee, final words.
Yes, so as you were saying that how does the voter vote? Let us remember that in a parliamentary election, an individual selects his or her representative to the Union Parliament. What does that mean? It means on the ground that, for example, for Ghatal, the Ghatal master plan, which has been lying with the centre for such a long time for dearth of funds, has not been approved by the centre. So Dev Adhikari has been raising that. In Asansol, for example, a union minister from BJP has actually been able to shut down industrial plant belonging to his own ministry in his own constituency. So on the ground, this is what the union government appears as, and the people of Bengal are conscious people, have a long history of political organizing and political understanding beyond kind of temporary kind of waves which are funded by social media.
Okay. So we're done with West Bengal, we're done with Maharashtra. This is where I wrap up the political stock exchange for this week. Next week we hope to have an All India tracker. So ahead of the first phase, we'll get you the latest All India tracker on the political stock exchange, where some very interesting insights come out, because you see a lot of fighting on TV, a lot of noise, a lot of acrimony, but then this data really helps you put it into context. Yes, terrorism is important, the airstrikes are important, but in the two states that we covered today, Maharashtra and West Bengal, they are far less important as a primary determinant for voting patterns than farmer distress and unemployment. Very interesting insight emerging from this PSC data. Now let's see who people hold accountable for failing to deliver on these two issues. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you with another edition of the Political Stock Exchange next week. Till then, from all of us here on the India Today team working on putting this PSC together for you, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.